Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome to another Racial Legends video. Guys, in this one, we're going to be going over Undead Hordes and the Faction War Stage 21. Of course, before we go into that, guys, I'm going to go over the Undead Hordes, the whole faction, which champions, in my opinion, can be utilized the best. Of course, there's many legendaries in this faction, but I will also go through the epic and, of course, the rare options for you guys who might not have, as many legendaries as I do have, or even if you do have some of them, they will definitely be helpful in getting you through that faction war stage 21. So in my opinion, this Undead Hordes faction war stage and the whole stages actually are quite in the easier side than all the other stages, just because of how many possible champions you can use and how many champions are available. Just look at how many legendaries we have, guys, in the Undead Hordes category. We also have a ton of epics and, of course, a ton of rares that are usable even in other end-game areas. So going over the rares for a start, we can see that we do have Seducer there. Seducer is one of the champions that is void on the one hand, but on the other hand, he is amazing once you get him and you need that help in finishing those dungeons, and you need it from a rare, so you don't have an epic or a legendary alternative. So Seducer, what he does is he gives an increased defense on all allies and also block debuffs, and he has a great way to decrease the attack of all enemies. So that AoE is fantastic. Even if you just put a stun set on him, he's going to be great in helping you go through that stage. So other champions here that can be definitely helpful are also Doomscreech. He provides a defense up. He's like a seeker, but instead of an attack up, he provides a defense up, a speed boost also, and he also has a way to place a shield buff equal to 30% max HP on this champion for 2 turns. So he becomes a great champion if you can apply a stun through these, or maybe a provoke. Having a provoke set or a stun set, anything can be very useful with Doomscreech. And just because he's a rare, he's much easier to get. So also we've got 2 great poisoners here. So Frozen Banshee, mostly everyone has her, or at least tries to get her through mystery shards or something. Fantastic poisoner. She can definitely be helpful, but she's on the weaker side in terms of surviving the waves. And of course, Graveshield Killer, who is also great, but not as tanky as other champion choices that we do have. So going over the epics, we've got many choices here. We've got, of course, Leech, who is available through that Razin summon. So if you're working on Razin right now, you can actually fuse Leech twice, one for Razin and one for your other users, because he's got a great A3. Look at this, depletes the target meter by 100%. Plays a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Just fantastic at a 3 turns cooldown. And he also has a way to heal himself and apply an increased defense buff on himself. Other, of course, great champions are Husk, who has an AoE stun, and of course max HP damage. We've got Seeker, who is like a Doomscreech, but in turn he has a way to provide increased defense to all allies when hit by a critical hit. He has a way to boost their speed and also their attack at a very short cooldown, so a 3 turns cooldown. And if you're already using him for setups like the Bat Eater setup, then he'll be already at a crazy amount of speed, so he'll be gaining a ton of turns. And we also have, of course, Gorgrab, who is a fantastic carry already in the dungeons because of the revives that he has on that A3. So revives any dead allies with 25% HP, then heals them by another 25% HP, 5 turns cooldown. And of course, he also has a speed boost and an attack up boost. So fantastic epics to use for. And also, if you're lucky to get Mausoleum Mage, he's another fantastic champion. He provides a ton of buffs to your whole team, and of course a cleanse and heal with that A3. So fantastic champion to carry you through if you do not have any legendaries that can do the job. So speaking of legendaries, finally let's go over the legendary. There's so many here that can be helpful. I think that each and every one of the legendaries available in the Undead Hordes will be helpful one way or another. The ones I do have, I think, are one of the more the better ones for the Undead Hordes faction wars, guys. Especially Nethril there, because of his waves manipulation. He's got a stun and a decrease in turn meter, stun on the A2 and a decrease in turn meter on that A3. Fantastic champion to have. He also applies poisons with his A1. Of course, Mashald is another great champion. Rotos, I mean, you guys know it. I'm not gonna say about Sifi. Sifi, you gotta have her in your team if you're doing Faction Wars 21, and you're gonna see how easy it is when you do have her. Other champions that are good are also Skartorsis. I do have him with the stun set because his A1 is an AoE. So a stun set on that A1 makes it much easier to control the waves when you get a bit lucky with the stuns. And of course, Battle Khazar for that debuff cleansing, and of course, applying those poisons. So you're going to see my team in the faction wars utilizing all these legendaries, and not all of them actually. I think I use Gorgrab in there just for the revives to make my team more consistent. And maybe I think I use Seeker also. Can't remember the exact team I did to clear stage 21, but let me go over my team's gear before we go actually into the whole fight. So here it is. So Battle Khazar, here's my Battle Khazar. I do have him with a ton of speed, so over 200 speed. Guys, some critical rate, some critical damage, not that important. The important thing is having accuracy, defensive stats, and of course the health points and defense are at a very good level, so he kind of survives in case he gets a hit in on himself. So just speed and an immortal set, of course, with the War Master mastery and fully maxed out skills. Next up, we do have Rotos. My Rotos is built for the arena. I didn't change anything on him. He's got a very solid amount of speed, 201 speed, 5k attack, 100% crit, 254 critical damage. So he's there for the damage. No real control through him. Maybe we can get that block revive going, but Rotos got recently changed, so that block revive has to scale up a bit with his A2, and then he'll have that block revive with that A3. Then we do have that Nethril, as I said before. Oh, and as I see now, I actually did remove some of his gear. So very quickly, let's put some gear on that Nethril so he can actually be useful in the stage. Let me put some speed sets on him. The reason I want speed sets is I want to get those stuns in. So I've got 2 full speed sets, and I'm going to put in an accuracy set there. Just level 12 items will do. So overall 200 speed, 2500 defense, 2.6k attack, critical rate at 73 and critical damage at 117, 279 accuracy. We don't want to get resisted at all because he does have that decreased turn meter and that stun on that A2. We went for Giant Slayer because I used to use him in the clan boss, so Giant Slayer was really important there for that A1. I didn't change that. I just find that his utility is through his A2 and A3, and I wouldn't recommend going War Master just to get those to proc through that A2 and A3. So let's go to the other one. Gorgrab, again, I used many different sets on him because I did have those with very high amounts of speed, 208 speed, just critical rate, critical damages, whatever. 300 resistance there because I don't want him to get any debuffs going on him. With 300 resistance, I think that's enough, at least with for the waves. And once you reach the boss, unless the boss has a way to just apply his debuffs and not be affected by resistance, then the resistance is really good for Gorgrab. So masteries, I think I do have timely intervention on Gorgrab just because I was gonna use him for arena for some kind of setups, and that definitely works for faction wars as well. When somebody goes low, Gorgrab gets some turn meter, and it's just fantastic for him to gain that extra bit of turn meter. So it's at 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25% HP. I think it's fantastic when somebody drops. He has that revive. He gains a ton of turn meter. He gains more turn, more revives. You get it. His skills are not maxed out. Yeah, I thought I had them maxed out. I don't have them maxed out, but I did finish stage 21. So all definitely good with him. So there's HP on the chest, HP on gloves, speed on boots, and resistance on the banner. Yeah, that's how I got my resistance so high. I thought I had resistance chest there for a minute. So the team that I'm actually using is Skartorsis. I forgot to go over Skartorsis. I said before that I do have the stun set on him. So my Skartorsis is built with a stun set and a speed set, just because that A1 applies, all those stuns possibly at an 18% chance when you've got a stun set on. So guys, let's go into the boss and I'll explain what happens with this team. First round is on auto, of course. The wave is much easier than round 2. So what is in round 2? If you see the martyrs in round 1, then you guys know what's coming in round 2. Round 2 is the Valkyries wave. 3 Valkyries are waiting for you there, and they're ready to do their high damaging skills. They're very annoying, and you should be prepared for them. So if you've been watching my videos so far on Faction Wars, I've done a couple of those so far. So if you've been watching my videos, guys, you know if you see the Martyrs, next wave is Valkyries. That's why you need control, and that's why I recommend stun sets and going in with some crowd control, at least in every kind of faction war, in every different faction war. You kind of need it. Maybe not the dwarves. The dwarves, I don't have any kind of faction control, I think. No, I do have Torment for dwarves. So here I'm going in with my my A1, my default skills, so I don't use any of my cooldowns. I want to go into wave 2 fresh. I want to have everything available because those Valkyries are not playing around and they will gain turn meter if you go in there on auto. So be very careful when you're switching from round 1 to round 2. You're gonna see them be very annoying and you need control on them before they start acting. So I'm not gonna use my A2 here. I'm going with A1. Some people actually even use Battle Khazar with a stun set. I did not use a stun set on him. I just used my normal speed set. I could have done a stun set for him just for the additional control because he's got an A1 that's an AoE, and that would have been way better. So here I think I'll go for should I go for A3, the guaranteed turn meter manipulation, or go for the chance to stun? I do want to get a stun, so hopefully I'll get a stun on every one of the Valks. There we go. We got 4 stuns. Very good. I'm so happy about that. Don't care that I didn't get a stun there. So let's start applying our buffs. Speed boosting. By the way, speed boosting, if it also applies a buff, the enemy Valkyries will also gain turn meter. So very important to be wary of that. So now we gonna try to reduce turn meter as well. Look at that control. Almost one of the Valks is dead. That's what I want to see, guys, before she even takes that turn. So much better now that we're going with 2 Valkyries against us. One of them is stunned. Perfect. And now we try to control the other one that didn't get stunned with Skartorsis. This is like the best case scenario to go versus a Valkyrie team. See there, we also got a Relentless proc. So hopefully we get a kill there. No, we didn't get a kill. Yeah, I think the Valkyrie is going to gain a turn. I think there's no way we can stop her from gaining a turn. Maybe if we can get a stun here. Let's see. We did not get a stun. Oh, we got Nethril. That's why I want him with a ton of speed, like 200 speed. 2 speed sets there definitely helped in me getting these turns. So 4 turns cooldown, but with 200 speed makes him go twice for every 1 turn the enemy makes. So the Valk is dead pretty much here. There's no way she's gonna get a turn and apply those buffs. See, my team has barely got touched with basically Nethril here. So if you don't have something like a Nethril, anything else with an AoE and a stun set is gonna work the same, but you're gonna have that RNG factor. Nethril does not have that RNG factor, and I think that's where he makes it much easier here. But of course, his chance to stun is also RNG, but not as low as the stun set. So we finally reached the boss, 3 minutes 51. What the boss does, guys, fills his champion's turn meter by 2% for every 1% of HP they lose when attacked. So he's gonna be gaining turns. You cannot really control his turn meter. We only got Nethril for that turn meter manipulation. A2 removes all debuffs from this champion, places a true fear debuff on a random enemy for 1 turn, places a stun debuff on all enemies except that enemy for 1 turn. These debuffs cannot be resisted, grants an extra turn. So this is where block debuffs come very useful, and of course a way to cleanse. So here we've got 2 cleansers. We've got Skartorsis and Battle Khazar. And if I went here with Mausoleum Mage, I would have a block debuffs buff as well, which would have been way better in terms of blocking that stun and not getting controlled by the boss. And of course, his A1 attacks one enemy will ignore the target's defense. That's fine with us as long as our Gore Grab does not get targeted. Then we'll have that revive going. So let's start this off with the poisons. Let's get some attacks in. Of course, A2 with our Rotos. We want to get him strong. Let's just go A1 here with Nethril. There's no point in doing the stun. It's not going to work. So see, we've got here the true fear on that Skartorsis. Hopefully he gets a turn. Can we cleanse now? There we go. We got a cleanse. If I had him a bit faster, I think I could have taken a turn and actually removed the stuns. But instead, everybody lost their turn basically, and then he went. So we see that Nethril getting a huge hit on him. But look how easily the boss just drops now with this team. Definitely much easier than beating wave 2. Wave 2 is much harder than actually the boss in my opinion. So here we got some boost going. I think I can put this on auto and we should be fine. Nethril is going to go down. He's going to get revived though, and it should be easy. For now, once Nethril gets a turn, it should be easy since he can remove turn meter. There, he's dead again. Maybe, how did I do this? Did I do this with a more tanky Nethril? There we go. Definitely the cooldown of my revive is 6 turns currently. It's not booked. So my team, I'll have to wait a bit if I want to get like the full stars on this. As you can see, my Rotos is not going to die anytime soon. Yeah, we need 2 more turns. Hopefully Rotos does not kill the boss. Okay. Are we gonna get a turn? The boss died from the poisons. Okay, we didn't get the full stars, but I do have it fully starred up. If Gorgrab was a bit faster maybe to get that revive in, if Nethril was a bit tankier, then we would have gotten those 3 stars. I cannot repeat the stage unfortunately because I'm out of keys, but you guys get the idea. This is how you beat stage 21 of Undead Hordes. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys want to see more Faction Wars videos and for a specific stage that I haven't covered yet, so please leave it down in the comments and I'll make a video on it. I've completed my Faction Wars, 819 stars. Lydia will be mine when she's out by the end of the month, I think. So by that time, if you're getting close, guys, please watch videos. Not necessarily mine if you don't want to, but yeah, try to get those stars in and get that Lydia when she's out by the end of this month. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.